Africa is rising, and with each bold decision, the world is beginning to listen. Today, the government of Burkina Faso, under the leadership of Captain Ibrahim Traoré, made a powerful statement to the world, a statement of sovereignty, dignity, and respect.
We bring to your attention this government statement signed today, December 30th, 2025, and I quote, "The government of Burkina Faso has taken note of the decision announced on December 16th, 2025, by the authorities of the United States of America regarding the strengthening of entry restrictions to their territory, a decision which now includes Burkina Faso among the countries subject to total visa restrictions. In accordance with the principle of reciprocity, the government of Burkina Faso informs both national and international audiences of its decision to apply equivalent visa measures to citizens of the United States of America. The government of Burkina Faso remains committed to mutual respect, the sovereign equality of states, and the principle of reciprocity in its international relations. Burkina Faso remains open to cooperation, based on respect for mutual interests with all of its partners. The homeland or death shall overcome us." End of quote. And it is signed by the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Regional Cooperation and Burkinabe Abroad, Karamoko Jean-Marie Traoré, Officer of the Order of the Stallion. We carry
Africa is rising, and with each bold decision, the world is beginning to listen. Today, the government of Burkina Faso, under the leadership of Captain Ibrahim Traoré, made a powerful statement to the world, a statement of sovereignty, dignity, and respect. In direct response to visa restrictions imposed by the United States, Burkina Faso has announced immediate reciprocal measures. For many, this marks a turning point in African diplomacy. For others, it is a long overdue message. Respect is not requested, it is required. On December the 16th, 2025, the U.S. government officially updated its visa policy, adding Burkina Faso to a list of countries facing total visa restrictions. This means that citizens of Burkina Faso would face increased obstacles in obtaining entry visas to the United States. The decision drew criticism from many in the Pan-African community. Why now? Why Burkina Faso? And why such sweeping restrictions? While U.S. officials cite internal policy reasons, many observers see it as part of a larger pattern, one where African nations are treated with less diplomatic respect and more one-sided expectations. The Burkinabe government saw the move not just as unfair, but as an insult to the principles of international equality. In response, the Burkinabe government released a powerful and clear statement. The government of Burkina Faso has taken into account the decision announced and has decided to apply equivalent visa measures to citizens of the United States of America. This is what diplomacy calls the principle of reciprocity. When one nation matches the treatment it receives from another, it's not about revenge, it's about fairness, respect. Under the leadership of Captain Ibrahim Traoré, Burkina Faso is choosing strength over submission, sending a clear message that African nations will not accept being pushed around on the global stage. This act is not just political, it's symbolic. For many Africans, it's a refreshing shift from the passive diplomacy of the past to a new era of bold, principled leadership. At just 35 years old, Captain Traoré is one of the youngest heads of state in the world, but he carries himself with the conviction of a seasoned revolutionary. Coming to power in 2022 amid political instability, Traoré promised to restore order, dignity, and national pride. Since then, he's taken strong stances on issues of national security, foreign interference, and sovereignty. His Pan-African message has made waves, not just in Burkina Faso, but across the continent. He often reminds the world that Burkina Faso is not a satellite nation, but a sovereign people with a right to self-determination. This visa policy shift is another chapter in his leadership, one that refuses to tolerate disrespect or unequal treatment from foreign powers. For years, African nations have faced double standards in global politics, whether in trade, travel, or media narratives. Policies are imposed, resources extracted, and the dignity of African people too often disregarded. But today, that tide is turning. Traoré's decision taps into a growing movement across the continent, the Pan-African Awakening, a belief that Africa must stand united, proud, and assertive on the world stage. It's a reminder that modern Africa is not the Africa of colonial times. These are sovereign nations, rich in culture, history, resources, and intelligence, and deserving of equal treatment. This moment is also about setting precedent. If one African nation can stand up to a global superpower with dignity, others may feel empowered to do the same when faced with injustice. To Africans in the diaspora, this move should serve as a source of pride. It's a sign that your homeland is waking up and no longer afraid to speak up. And to other nations in the global south, especially those facing similar challenges, Burkina Faso's stand may offer inspiration. Mutual respect must be the foundation of all partnerships, not just in words but in policies. Respect is deserved, not because of military strength or economic power, but because of the shared humanity and dignity of all peoples. Burkina Faso has spoken. The world is watching, and the African continent is rising. Homeland or death, we will overcome.
Yes, here we are, brothers and sisters. Welcome all of you. If you don't respect us, we will not also respect you. That's what the Alliance of Sahel States has said and replied to the United States of America. In recent weeks, the United States of America imposed tighter visa restrictions on citizens of several African countries, including members of the Alliance of Sahel States, Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso. These measures were presented as administrative decisions, but for the people of the Sahel, the message was clear. Some passports matter more than others. And for decades, African governments often responded with silence, but this time the response was different. In three separate but coordinated statements, Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger each declared that they would apply the same restrictions to US citizens in full respect of international norms. Why? Because sovereignty is not negotiable and respect must go both ways. You know, America think that because America is giant, economically, militarily, they can bull the rest of entire countries, especially African countries. So the Alliance of Sahel States made one thing very clear. This decision is based on the principle of reciprocity. If you restrict our citizens, we reserve the right to restrict yours. This is not revenge. This is not escalation. This is equality. So we are not revenging. No, we are asking for respect, and this is equality. For the first time in a long time, African states are saying we will no longer accept one side's laws in the global mobility. We will no longer treat our citizens as second-class travelers, and we will no longer apologize for defending our sovereignty. That alone makes this moment historical. What makes this announcement even more powerful is the unity of the message. Through issuing separately the statement from Bamako, Mali, from Ouagadougou, Burkina, and Niamey in Niger echoed the same words, the same value, and the same tone. Mutual respect, sovereignty, equality between states, respect for international laws, balanced and dignified cooperation. This is what a Pan-African coordination looks like in practice. No shouting, no threats, just column film, love action. For the first time, African states are not reacting individually, they are responding collectively. And of course, have been saying this, Mali, Niger, Burkina Faso are teaching African states or African countries how to come together, how to unite. We have seen the issue of Somalia. We saw different statements, but we are not united as Africans. So the decision goes beyond visas. It signals something much deeper. Africa is learning to speak with one voice. Africa is redefining partnerships. Africa is demanding respect, not hate, not pity, not permission. The alliance of Sahel states is providing that African cooperation does not need approval from Washington or from Paris or from Brussels or from London. True partnership means mutual respect, not unilateral decisions. And when respect is absent, silence is no longer an option. This is a message not just to the United States of America, but to the entire world. The alliance of Sahel states has made its position clear. They remain open to cooperation. They remain committed to dialogue. But that cooperation must build on equality and dignity. This is not anti-American. This is pro-sovereignty. This is pro-Africa. The era of automatic submission is ending. A new era of reciprocity, unity, and self-respect is rising. Africa is no longer asking to be respected. Africa is enforcing it. Brothers and sisters, that's what's happening in Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso after US imposed visa restrictions from these countries. What is your opinions? What is your views on this matter? Thank you for watching. Thank you for being with me. We're here to make Africa great. Thank you.
Africa is rising, and with each bold decision, the world is beginning to listen. It is required. On December the 16th, 2025, community. Why now? Why Burkina Faso? And why such sweeping restrictions and more one-sided expectations? The Burkinabe government saw the move not just as unfair, but as an insult to the principles of international equality. For many Africans, it's a refreshing shift from the passive diplomacy of the past to a new era of bold, principled leadership. At just 35 years old, Captain Traore is one of the youngest heads of state in the world, but he carries himself with the conviction of a seasoned revolutionary. Unequal treatment from foreign. Traore's decision taps into a growing movement across the continent, awakening, proud and assertive on the world stage. It's a reminder that modern Africa is not the Africa of all partnerships, not just in words, but in policies. Respect.
Thank you, Africa. Mama Africa. Oh, yeah. You make African great. Thank you, freedom. Thank you, Africa.